Well, after the first snow here in the Rockies, tasks get a lot harder to accomplish, and you really have to have your gear dialed in, and they have to be high performing. Well, I have here a fixed blade that claims to be able to do just that. This is the hard task. And I've been using this blade now for a while, and it's the ANV Knives M200 hard task. And this blade is purpose built as a combat utility knife. That is what it is designed to do. But we're going to find out today if it's purpose built as a one-trick pony, or does it have some hidden characteristics like, say, a fire steel notch to empower it to be more useful in different types of scenarios or not? We're going to find out today as we thrash on this blade and see how hard the tasks are that this can accomplish. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Aaron. This is Gideonstactical. Let's dive in. Well, we are here back at the knife show, and I just love hanging out with you guys and unpacking pieces of gear and equipment, especially blades. I test out other gear and equipment, but blades are always going to be the bread and butter around here, and you got to have a good knife to spread butter on your bread, right? And this acta non verba, ANV. If you're not familiar with what acta non verba means, it's attributed to Julius Caesar. It is Latin for actions and not words, or deeds and not words. So do something, don't just talk about it. And that's what this whole company, based in the Czech Republic, and that is where this blade is produced, their goal in their purpose in these designs. And when they first came on the scene, at least here in the States, I was blown away by the profiles and the very unique designing. And over the years, having tested plenty, many of their designs just really slap, as the young kids say. And so when it comes to the blade itself, and you're looking at a tactical blade, many sacrifice slicing for piercing. That is not the case with this tool, because it has a very high 3/4 saber grind on an excellent bellied blade with a great tip, nice and durable, penetrates really well with that. And it's going to be 0.2 on the stock thickness. Because of the high grind though, man, is this wicked. Both when you are attacking, say, a toe strap, a seat belt, and you have to cut through something that's man-made, cordage, paracord, you know, whatever it may be in that category, zip ties, you're gonna eat right through it. And then in reverse, if you're doing carving and whittling. Shut up. And, you know, having to do food prep. Say you're on the front lines and your combat knife has to keep you from getting scurvy. So you got to slice up some limes and, you know, share it with your teammates and your platoon, whatever it may be. Then this is going to allow you to also do food prep surprisingly well for, again, a combat focused military inspired design. Now, the astute blade lover is going to notice something on the 5.2, 5.1 inch blade here, which I think is just like perfect lengthwise, is that they have what they call a light recurve. There's just ever so slight a recurve starting right about where my finger is, concaving in slightly and coming back down, which velocitizes, accelerates your slice, because it's at an angle going through each fiber of a seatbelt, paracord, hemp rope, name it, in a way, or wood, that, or flesh, feast on his flesh. We just finished watching Lord of the Rings with the boys for the first time, all three, and they loved it. But anyway, so yeah, this is gonna accelerate excellent through stuff. That's why it's so good at that. Now, I know some of you get paranoid right away. Recurves. I want to know, leave a comment, please, if you're like, I do not even look at recurves. It's so light that it does just exactly what it's supposed to without, or it's so shallow, let's use that word, of a recurve. But, and any like inch wide diamond stone, like a work sharp, you know, things like that, yeah, I tested it. I mean, it's in contact the entire time. But Rods are always better for recurves, and I don't have a problem with recurves at all. I own many, resharpen them and hone them regularly. And that's where something like this SHARPAL sharpener, I've talked about it a few times, video is coming where I highlight many of the pros. There are a few cons in the overall design. The whole kit fits inside the handle, so it's very portable. You screw it on like so. And then, because it's such a small, rounded surface, no problem to resharpen any. Like, I mean, you could do a kukri, you know, with a diamond or ceramic rod and do it in an easier way than a stone could. So I'll have a link popping up if you're interested in checking this portable sharpener out. It's got leather strops on it. I mean, again, when I'm doing that flat leather strap right there and I do a draw cut, I'm not seeing like a gap where I'm missing contact with the edge, which would then cause, you know, blank spots, and then you can resharpen. So, but I want to know, what do you guys think about the light recurve? Is it delicious and nutritious, or is it something that gives you a tummy ache when you are picking out a blade? Now, as we know, grind is the first most important thing, then steel second. Sometimes people get that flipped. Excellent high grind, all the things, you know. But what is the steel choice? Well, ANV Knives uses Sleipner or Sleipner, however you want to say it, steel. I've used it extensively, not only on their knives, but other blades as well. I am super impressed with Sleipner steel. They do Rockwell 59 on this. I'm super glad that they state that. More companies need to be stating what their Rockwell treatments are. Rockwell 59 is a semi-stainless tool steel, so it's going to be much better at rust resistance than 1095 and 5160 and those type of high carbons that you see a lot of combat knives made out of. It's going to hold its edge much longer than that. It will take a little bit longer to resharpen, absolutely, but it's not difficult to hone and keep an edge on this type of steel. And best part, it's very shock resistant from my experience. You see it in a lot of large survival knives. I'm thinking like the Line Steel M7, huge blade, and at 0.2 on the stock thickness of this blade, the durability on both the edge, but also lateral torquing and stabbing and slashing and those type of things that you're going to put a combat knife like this through. Excellent choice in steel and a good Rockwell, and is going to outperform like basic high carbons that you might be familiar with from a lot of other manufacturers. But make sure to leave a comment. What has been your experience with Sleipner steel? Now, along with that, we have here this fire steel notch that I highlighted earlier. Now, most military combat focused knives are not going to have that because first and foremost, you're trying to evade, be stealthy in these type of environments where these knives would be mostly used. But I'm thinking of places like the Western Front, Eastern Front, whatever. We have stuff going on in Europe right now where maybe, it's frigid. I mean, it's cold. And yes, there are areas where it's safe and you're behind friendly lines and you need to get a fire going just to keep warm and cook your food, do whatever you need to. Having the ability to do that is excellent. They have made this 10 millimeters, and I'll be putting in what that is in standard as well. 10 millimeters wide, so that should be able to handle most fire steels, including my giant chunky one, and it absolutely flings sparks. So you can easily get a fire going. There's one drawback to this feature though, is that it's a pretty big gap right there. And on webbing or cordage, you could see it snag because it's so deep. You could snag it on narrow man-made material and then have to lift and like slice again. Not a major concern, but it's something to be aware of and you need to consider on how you plan on using this tool. Now, a lot of military-focused knives really screw up the handle ergonomics, focusing more on traction points than on actual comfort and capability in your hand. And we're gonna find out because at first glance, man, I don't know about this. Looks pretty freaking wild, and I'm not sure if this is gonna be that cozy and a haven for your hands when you're doing hard tasks. But if you're getting value out of this video, I do invite you guys to like and subscribe. You can hit that link and do that. It really helps us go up in the rankings, and you can be notified when you hit that bell icon every week when I do new hard-hitting in-depth videos just like this, scratching that little itch of need for all of your blade and gear needs. And wait, do you guys see that over there? Whoo-wee. Man, that is a heck of a view. And what gives me confidence to come out here and explore and check out scenery like this is the fact that I have my Zoleo satellite communicator with me on all of my adventures. And of the many attributes, there are two that bring a ton of value to me with the Zoleo device. First and foremost is that it's a standalone satellite communicator. Yes, I can sync it to my phone and text my wife when I don't have cell coverage and let her know how things are progressing and that I'm okay. But if I damage my phone or it runs out of battery life, this has over 200 hours of battery, and I can hit the check-in button and it sends my GPS coordinates to my wife and let her know I'm okay. Or if something goes sideways, I can hit the SOS button and send my GPS coordinates to first responders, and they can start coming to the rescue. So having that attribute along with its shareability. Recently, I was not able to make a hunting trip with a buddy of mine, so I untethered it from my phone. He connected it to his, and he went off on an over week-long hunting trip, used it all over Colorado as he was elk hunting, and giving him peace of mind and confidence to know that if something goes sideways, he can hit that SOS button and get first responders to his location. Then he came back. I retethered it to my phone for the adventure I'm out on today. So that, along with many other capabilities and features, make this an essential piece of kit for me when I go exploring. And so I'm gonna have a link popping up here in the corner of the screen, as well as in the description box below this video, that you can start checking out all the different features and subscription plans that Zoleo offers, along with my exclusive promo code, which will waive the $40 activation fee. So I invite you guys to check it out and start exploring with confidence with Zoleo and their satellite communicator. Now, first and foremost, look at those G10 handle scales. I mean, okay, there's a lot of transitions, ribbing, angles on this handle scale. So when I first got it, I was like, okay, and I was pulling it out of the sheath. I'm like, I do not know how this is gonna go. It's gonna probably be designed to keep me in place and do a stab, and that's all it's gonna really be good for. And it's not gonna be comfortable for feather stick making, you know, camp chores, those type of things, or just general ergonomics. I don't know what ANV knives did. I think they may have. I mean, I don't know what else they must have done, is like 3D printed like the grip of a hand or something like that, because this is a perfectly cocooned haven for your hands in all sorts of different scenarios, including wearing leather gloves. I was using my wool gloves for the majority of the outdoor tasks for this, but did a lot of carving and whittling without them just to make sure. And not only does it fill out the hand so well when you wear gloves, but when you have bare hands, what looks like horrifically tractioned ribbing, they patterned it at such an angle that it perfectly grabs your hand and didn't create a hot spot, like, at all. So then I was like, okay, wow, that is really unusual. Even in a reverse grip, bam, they've cut it out in such a way that when your thumb perfectly goes over, and I wear large size hands, or I have large size hands, wear large size gloves, 3.25 inches spanning my hand right there, giving me power for a reverse stab, giving me an excellent cut in for my pinky, with that large guard. So regardless if I had cold weather gloves on and I was having to defend myself in frigid temperatures or in hot, sweaty climates, doesn't matter, boom, 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 I'm locked in and I can just get all of my energy into a stab that way, into a stab this way, locking me perfectly into place. This drop looked so abrupt to me. I was like, that's gonna be like an insane hotspot. It perfectly goes in, and I think part of it is because, look at this, again, at first glance, I'm like, this is so weird, but they must have done like a 3D printing of a palm or something. I don't know. These shoulders perfectly grasp into and angle my hand into where I want it to be. And it's wider at the top where you're putting all of your pressure, and narrower at the bottom, transitioning into your hand. So when you do a push cut, if I'm doing a feather stick, right, and I'm sitting there for 20 minutes for whatever reason using this knife, it's sending all of the energy at a 45-degree angle right into the blade to do that type of push cut. So I am blown away. And even the jimping, though it's aggressive, I'm not going to lie to you. It's not. If you rest your thumb right there and then you like do hard pushing for a long period of time, it's not going to be ideal without gloves on. But I was doing most of my hammer gripping this way for the carving, and then because of the way it's designed, I can move and I can totally bypass that if I want to rest my thumb, and that's where my thumb actually naturally wants to go if I'm doing like a thumb rest push cut on the spine. So I am stunned, guys. I am stunned Has a non-lethal striker right there. I mean, you get clocked in the back of the head with that. That is not going to feel good at all. Wide right around your palm, tapering around the neck, but it doesn't make my finger float because of how wide the neck is right there. They really, for a combat knife, now this is still a combat knife. This is not a bushcraft knife. If you want that, better options on the market. But if you like this style, you want a hard-hitting, like go bag type of knife that can really handle a lot of heavy, brutal, piercing, stabbing, quick in the hand at 10 ounces, you know, blade, but you could sit there and absolutely do all the work you need around camp, and it's not going to be like, I hate this knife. The ergonomics they did a superb job with, and I mean, check other videos that I've done in the past. There are some blades that are combat focused that just suck outside of just stabbing, and this is well and away surpassing my expectations in the comfort level for just general carve and cut and doing what just general utility. Could do it for quite a long period of time without any issue. Now, a good combat knife needs to have a good sheath, and ANV knives have always done well with their Kydex. This is a Kydex sheath with a good drainage hole. Now, most of their blades come with molly tabs right there that really lock into place. Again, designed for like pals webbing, you know, or different types of molly attachments to, you know, tactical belts, those type of things. You know, if you're going to wear it on your belt regularly and you're looking at it more as a camp knife, you'll probably want to get some sort of drop leg attachment. Now, this does have a pancake design, which is better for the scenario because it gives you lots of different lashing options. It's got an excellent thumb ramp that, again, you can just pop off and you don't have to do any walk up and you're locked into place, both in a forward grip but also in an ice pick like reverse hammer grip. So all of those characteristics allow it to be quickly deployed, and you don't have to do any type of walk up if you had to use it quickly in a self-defense role. Now, I want to hit two competitive options with you guys that are in the field knife / combat knife arena for us to kind of consider and, you know, run up against this. But I do want to let you guys know that I will be doing, coming real soon in the next few days, the full length review on the pocket knife version that they just released of the hard task with a crossbar lock, Sleipner steel as well. They basically have just taken this design and then shrunk it down into a folder format. Now we're going to talk about, does the fixed blade version really transfer over to be an excellent pocket knife, or do I have a few hangups with the design? That will be coming real soon, so stay tuned for that. And ANV Knives definitely has more combat utility knives that they focus on. So I'll be doing a micro comparison video. I don't know if I'll do it in a short format or if in like a standard format on this M200 hard task versus two other ANV knives. They really give you guys some good food for thought, but I wanted to run in some not ANV blades as competitive options. Now, before we do that, what's this gonna cost? It's gonna cost you about $235 to $40 US. I'll have a link popping up in the description as well, but the link will be right here, boom, over to Blade HQ where you can check it out, as well as some of my other affiliates. And I will have the link over to the ANV website. Since they are a European-based company, those of you in Europe should easily be able to score one of these, and the conversion rates are way easier to do over on, you know, the ANV site, so if you're interested in doing that. So $230, $240, definitely in the higher end of combat blades. So I wanted to really look at two options for us to consider and really like, what does this design maybe bring that's different? This is the American Tomahawk Knife Company's Scout, previously reviewed. I'll try to have it popping up, the full review popping up right there. And all the competitive options will be in the links below as well. This is made out of Nitro V, USA made. It's a little bit smaller, a little bit broader. It has a very narrow clip point, so excellent for stabbing, great ergonomics as well right there, and then does come with a good Kydex sheath and around the same cost, about $240. Nitro V is a true stainless, again, a semi-stainless tool steel in the Sleipner. I don't know about durability's sake. Edge retention I might actually give to the Sleipner just by like a little bit, in my experience. That's, your mileage may vary. But, so you really would have to determine, do you want like true stainless and you want more of like stabbing, piercing? This might be it, because it does have a slightly lower saber grind, and one that has an even more low saber grind, but is so iconic in this realm I had to run in here, is the Cold Steel SRK. SRK by Cold Steel. This is the CPM 3V variant. Mine was made in Italy. I don't think they do that anymore. They did it for a short period of time. I will never be getting rid of this blade. Excellent tool, great for stabbing because of how low the saber grind is. This is way better at slicing. So you got to ask yourself, do you want something to stab or do you want something to slice? So, and like many people I know, you just carry a combat knife because you like the profile, the style, but 90% of your tasks are just, you know, camping. Well, then that's where this higher, much higher saber grind is going to far and away out surpass the SRK, but the SRK is going to stab a lot better. CPM 3V tougher in every way than Sleipner, but and this will be more inexpensive. I believe it's like they float all over the place. You can get them as cheap as 100 all the way up to like 190. It just depends on who, what, when, where, why. So leave comments below, guys. I love and cannot wait to hear from you. What do you actually look for more in your designs? Do you want high grinds and sliceability in this profile, or do you like the clip points that I just showed you that are more focused on stabbing and piercing? I cannot wait to read the comments. Thanks so much for hanging with me today, guys. I love you. It is so much fun, and I just appreciate you. Without you guys, I get to do one of the greatest joys of my life as a career, which is just insane. To be able to hang out, talk about blades, and hopefully entertain and inform at the same time. Maximus, are you not entertained? I hope you are, but I hope you're also informed at the same time. So appreciate you guys. Check out the other videos. Subscribe if you haven't. And until next time, always remember to stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.